You can do show and tell now if you wish. The pieces up here, whomever's brought pieces in can discuss them and tell us how you made it. And try to play to the camera.
Hi guys, this is my 1-year anniversary. I think if you check, I joined in November of last year. So I've been watching you guys bring pieces in. I've been having fun and making sawdust and blowing up wood in my shop and stuff like that. I just thought I'd bring in some of the stuff that I've been making, that's all. Nothing special. I mean, white birch, obviously. And some cute little flowers. My wife is calling it rustic refined. And I don't have the nerve to tell her that there's about 1 million of these things online, and I'm just plagiarizing, what I like. So, just having fun. Beer bottle kind of thing. This is a piece of a burl that I won 3rd month here, 4th month here. Cherry burl that came out really nice. This is my wife's favorite bowl. This was a piece of firewood that I bought my brother-in-law 2 years ago. Stole a piece this year since it was a burn ban all year.
Yeah, can you look up to the camera?
And pardon?
Yeah,
the grain just came out outstanding. I mean, it was all spalted and everything, and I took away a whole bunch of soft, rotten stuff. This is my idea for IWK, and I brought it in because I don't know if the finish is appropriate. It's 2 coats of super blonde and 2 coats of finishing wax, basically.
That should be fine, right?
Yeah.
I think that would be okay.
Yeah. And you guys think it'll stand up? Somebody mentioned the walls are very thin here.
I mean, as long as it's cured, but that.
Everything's still smelling a little bit, so.
Everything is okay. We took 41 boxes to them there a couple of weeks ago, and then they wanted some before they cleaned themselves, so.
Okay. So, and I see you guys looking at these 2 things. This is how I'm trying to get my grandkids, somebody mentioned, hooked on woodworking by doing some magic. Like, how do you get the golf ball in there? This is my 7-year-old grandson, so he knows the secret to this. This is my 10-year-old, he knows the secret to this. And they haven't told each other or their parents. They have, however, told Nana, my wife, because she gets everything out of them. And it's working. I mean, they're having a ball, And that's it. That's my story. And I'm having fun exploding wood and making sawdust and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, that's the main part.
Exploring your choice. See all of you about. Okay. Had some awesome catches. Things go flying across the shop.
In keeping with the firewood theme, a friend of mine pulled this out of her pile of firewood and thought the small pig and the marquee sonnet were rather unique, and asked me if I could make her something from it. Well, right then and there, I should have said that's a piece of shit. Throw it in the fire. Nothing can be done. But I did cut a piece off and turned a little bowl. It was just like turning sawdust. I tried the soap thing, and eventually the CA glue, and was able to get it pretty good finish on it. Turned the little top, stuck a little candle in it, and there we go.
Did she like it?
I haven't given it to her
Oh.
yet.
Well, the next one you turn, you might try pledge.
Pledge, well, that's what it was, or something, pledge, whatever. It didn't work.
Don, did you find any alternative to the pledge? No?
That's cherry burl. Cherry burl occurs in sapwood as well as in the hardwood. And that's the white. Jim asked me years ago, I had another vessel of some sort. It was almost all sapwood, almost all white. He'd never seen it before. But anyway, I left the outside of that. I didn't fill the holes. It was dry, and it all that's what a burl does in the sapwood. It shrinks because the sapwood's quite wet compared to the hardwood. It did fill most of the inside, just because if you were using it for something, it feels better. I use sanding dust and thin CA glue. Just smear, fill whatever you want to fill, and put CA to it. And if you don't want to wait, get CA accelerator. A couple minutes, you sand it, go again. Otherwise, maybe an hour, maybe two, depending on the temperature. So it kind of looks, if you look at it, it kind of looks like it's been pierced different places, but Mother Nature did it all. Now, I always finish my bottoms, right? So, an irregular, a circular top thing, you can put in some kind of jars. Or if it's too thin, that's difficult in jars. So, to do something like that, to be able to hold it, finish the bottom, this has been used before, so the hole means nothing to this. That inside surface means nothing to this. I just took it because I keep a drawer full of pieces, so I don't have to start from scratch to make a jig to hold it. Now this has shrunk just a little bit since it, but this base surface here was where it sat, and then I just hot glue it on. Now it's shrunk enough so that wiggles just a little bit. Hot glue is your best friend for doing something like that, because you don't put a finish on or anything. Just do dabs just like that, 3 or 4 places, and then you just roll it off with your thumb when you're done. Take your skew and cut the high part without cutting your wood. Just cut the high part of the glue and kind of give it a little wiggle, and it'll come right off. I wouldn't put it on the delicate part. Go somewhere where it's reasonable, and then the residue one, just roll it off. Never comes there. So you hold that. Put that in your chuck. It's easier. It's repeatable if you have a chuck or that has a crimping plate, a groove there, so you can put that on every time. If you don't have a chuck like that, it's not repeatable because you'll never get that back on so it's centered again. So true up that in the chuck, put your piece on, till you get your piece on, hot glue it, bring your center up. Gets backwards here. Turn in here, leave your center on, turn your bottom off until you get down to next to nothing with the center there. And once you're down to next to nothing and you're content with the outside here, take your center away, and then you can, with work, you don't need your center in the small part, because there's no leverage virtually. The leverage is when you're working out here. And then that's my maker's mark, and it's just a pointed gouge that I just make 3 concentric circles, and the hot glue's a lot steady. I've done the maker's mark and stuff that sticks out 14 inches. And it wouldn't be any more on the neck of A's that's that big. So all hot glue isn't created the same. But if you can't bend the stick when it's cold out of the store, when it's cold out of the store package, it's too hard. It's brittle. The stick should be flexible. Stuff I've been using since clean color, and it's a tan color. It's not white. The white I've had is too brittle. It's a problem.
Did you mention? I wasn't listening, I'm sorry. Did you mention you put the finish on first?
Well, no, I don't put the finish on.
You don't put the finish on?
You don't, the hot glue peels, you can put the finish on, I have done it,
Yeah,
but normally
okay, that's good, yeah.
it peels, you just take your thumb
Yeah.
and just peel it off. It does not, if you're into pores, yes, then you're gonna have to pick it out of the
Yeah.
pores, but avoid, you put it on like
Put it in the.
that
smooth
little
place,
place there was on one of these sloping edges. There's no little void for it to get caught in. But a normal edge, smooth edge, no problem. Just,
Okay, yeah.
and it's off. And
I
it does
thought you
not.
had to
Now,
put the
I use tongue oil, and some other finish. There has to be a small amount there because it's sanded when I do that, right?
Yeah,
This part will be sanded,
yeah.
right? And fit the finished sanding, put that on, do the bottom, and then do the bottom, right? But there has to be some there because the wood is tiny bit porous. The stuff you put it on is hot, so there must be a microscopic, but it does not show up with tongue oil. I have never seen it. That's all I can say.
Super. Thank you.
Gordon?
This started out, about 3 years ago, I got a burl from Stuart. This is one half. This is the ugly half. The other half is the really nice piece of burl that I made into a fairly shallow platter for my daughter that sits on her coffee table all the time. So when she's seen the block of wood, she decided, I want some of that. And it was 2 years later before I did it. But anyway, crack was original. Stuart said, use it right away or it's going to crack. I didn't follow his instructions, and of course it did crack. She has the half that didn't crack, because it was wide. When I started it, I didn't want to make a bowl. I didn't want to make a platter. I wanted to make something different. And I'd seen a few of these online and thought, well, maybe I'll make one. Didn't really realize for something this big and how delicate the bark is, what kind of process I was going to have to go through to do it. But the bottom's finished, and when I finished the bottom, I did the same thing as basically as Stuart. I had a big block in the chuck with a pad on it, tailstock, let me finish the bottom of this.
I don't have it anyway.
And it holds very well. There's not, you know, once you got it settled into center, it just rotates. You know, not at 10,000 RPM, you know, it has to be at a reasonable amount.
Exciting. Finger breaker.
Bark was off of it when I had it. Nothing else come off other than a couple of chips. I left a little stubby stick on it. Want to take it off? You know. It had a fair amount of sanding because there was some flex in here when it was turned. So I had to sand it a little more here. But I was happy in how the bowl actually looks like it's sitting on the platter, so to speak. And I wasn't going to do anything to this. Wasn't going to have any holding in here at all. Someone strong-armed me into putting something on it.
So what is that, copper wire?
Copper wire, yeah. And it has generic, we'll just call it Danish oil. Doesn't matter what the brand is, they all work basically the same. And there's about 6 coats on it.
Hand applied?
Pardon?
Applied by hand?
Yes. And that's it.
It's gorgeous. That wouldn't suit a glossy finish.
Pardon?
That wouldn't suit a glossy finish.
No, it's actually too glossy right now. And I may tone it, I may buff it down a little bit with some steel wool.